How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And how have you been? Because it's been like maybe 4 weeks or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Besides that one week where I was traveling literally from Colorado Springs to San Francisco to LA to San Diego, I'm home. I got to make a trip to Austin, Texas next week. But other than that, I've been home and getting a lot of work done here, Gordon.
Well done, well done. And I've been having a joyful time traveling in northern. Well, I wouldn't quite say it's northern Japan, but non Honshu, which is the main
Yeah.
island where Tokyo is.
Yeah, yeah. And so for those who are not familiar with it, what were you doing out there? What did you do out there? And as usual, I enjoy asking, what was your favorite food that you ate there?
Okay, so what I was doing out there, I joined four other couples. My wife and I joined four other couples, and we stayed with a friend who has a place in Japan, in a place called Niigata. So Niigata is famous for two things: rice and sake. So you can
Mm,
guess what's going on now. But
right.
yes, one little interesting fact is that the western side of Honshu Island, actually most of western side of Japan, gets the most snow because that's when the Siberian wind picks up some moisture from the Sea of
Oh,
Japan and dumps it
yeah,
there.
yeah. Now, Gordon, let me ask you. I mean, living in Singapore, do you have a winter jacket, or did you have to buy it over in Tokyo?
No, no. Okay, so we keep a set of winter jackets that we kind of accumulated along the way, all these years traveling to places where we actually feel a little colder.
Hmm.
But no, in Singapore, you want to be in something like this, as
Yeah,
cool as you can get.
yeah, 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 yeah. And Gordon, what was the one thing you enjoyed doing when you were out there?
Wow. So I think watching cherry blossom flowers start falling down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So it's a picnic in the spring. It's a spring picnic under cherry blossom trees, and we're just having fun with friends, drinking sake, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. In that part, I mean, when I think of Tokyo, it's a very busy town, trains, everything like that, subway. I mean, for where you are, is it more country? Is it more mountain, less city?
It- yeah, so it's very unlike, say, Tokyo. Even Osaka is much more busier than this. So this is out perhaps in suburban Japan, and so the communities are smaller. The towns are kind of like very small ones. Like the community I went to was like 16,000 in population, and that's it.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Did they speak English, or did you have to learn how to communicate with them in Japanese?
So fortunately, one of couples who's actually staying there speak perfect Japanese, so we were much guided by them.
Mm, got it. Very good. Very good. Well, I mean, are you home for a while, or will there be another trip coming up in the future?
I should be home for a while, although I'm going for a golf trip in China at the end of this month.
Okay, got it. Very good. Hey, today we're going to talk about article that you and I were chatting about is how to manage an insecure leader. I think for those who are listening, many of us have either encountered an insecure leader as our boss. We probably have friends who are insecure leaders. Gordon, which ones have you encountered? Was that a boss or was it a colleague or a team member?
Well, it's very interesting. I was thinking about it as I was reading it because one of the things is it's hard to identify an insecure leader or insecure person except in their behavior. And you're never
Mhm.
really sure if the person's insecure or just compensating for something. But I like the article because the article suggests that there are a few ways of
Mhm.
identifying
Yeah.
insecure people.
Yeah. Hey, if possible today, can we talk about the two types of insecure leaders? And then can we talk about specifically the three R's that you referred to?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when I read the article because the two types are really interesting because that's one way of identifying insecure people.
Yeah. Here's what he writes. If you work for or with such individuals, you're not alone. According to a 2023 report from Pew Research Center, more than a third of, now this is for America articles, American workers describe their bosses as somewhat or extremely dismissive or unpredictable, traits often linked to insecurity. When teams are negatively impacted by those kinds of managers or colleagues, it can lead to pervasive stress, higher burnout, and increased turnover. There are two types of insecurity that I'd love for you to explain it. There is the anxious leader, and then there is literally the avoidant leader. These are both insecure leaders, the anxious leader and the avoidant leaders. Talk to me about each one of them.
Yeah, I think I can identify with the anxious leader more. The anxious leader is a little bit more concerned about the person's own self image, the person's confidence, perhaps, you know. So he's anxious that he's probably seen as someone who is confident, who's a leader, who's, you know, competent, and so on and so forth. I think that's easier to identify among Asians. Because the anxious leader is out there. But the avoidant leader is a little bit more difficult to identify for me as an Asian, because Asians tend to be a little bit more quiet, and the avoidant leader just withdraws.
Yeah, I do find a lot of times with the anxious leaders, they want to constantly micromanage. I find with some of those guys who are micromanaging, they want to control all of the details because they're anxious in the sense that, hey, look, I need to make sure everything goes well. And so a lot of times they'll avoid the hard decisions. They'll sit there and want to ask for feedback, positive feedback, and they're always looking for that positive feedback all the time.
Yes, and that's, I think that's the one that you kind of know that person's
Yeah.
insecurity.
Yes, yeah, that is the easy type of person. Look, I've worked for bosses. I can even think of one in my head right now all the time. Is he always never wanted to make a decision, but he always wanted good feedback. He always wanted you to say good things about it. And he would indirectly want to solicit that feedback. But then when it's came time to do it, he would just micromanage every detail. And you're wondering, is he doing that because he really doesn't know what's going on, but he wants to appear like he's in control?
Yeah, so while just speaking, a few images flew past my mind, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, these are the people I kind of think they are insecure.
Yeah. I also know another guy who's an avoidant leader because of his insecurity. He appears like he knows everything. He is calm. He's rational. He's continued to be have control and independence, but at the same time, he doesn't like criticism. If you even
Mhm.
challenge him at meetings, he doesn't want to deal with it, and he avoids all of those different things. And so, a lot of times, that's another form of insecurity where you just don't want anyone to disagree with you because of that
Mhm.
insecurity you struggle with, and you always have to feel like you're always right.
Yeah. So unlike the first one, the second one, the avoidant leader, it's kind of, you need to read the person a lot more, because the person's just like stoic and,
Mhm.
you know, quiet, and then you try to find out, is this, what's this guy thinking about?
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming, based on what we're saying, you've never worked with the avoidant insecure leader, right? It's mostly been the other one.
Well, a large part of it, yes, because the tendency in the places I worked at is the leader makes the most noise, whereas the
Mm,
avoidant leader is usually quieter. But I had a couple of bosses, um, given their status, were kind of like quiet, and you never know if they're just trying to figure you out, if they're trying to think. They look wise, they
yeah,
look very quiet, but hmm, I just wonder if that was hiding some insecurity.
yeah. Have you ever dealt with a colleague who was like that, insecurity in colleague?
Oh yes, most certainly, and I always get threatened by them because they're the ones that kind of sneaks up on you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, and so a lot of times, this article I love talks about this 3R. We teach people a three-step process: regulate, relate, reason for managing the insecure behavior of others. So let's talk through each one of them. First one, regulate.
Yeah. Well, so the article suggests, and then I'm trying still to wrap my head around this one. It says when people feel danger, no amount of logic or strategy will get through to them until their brains are calm. So, what do I do to help them do that?
Yeah, and in some sense, a lot of times, what would you suggest as an option?
Yeah, so maybe the best thing is to ask questions, ask in a very gentle, kind way. But yeah, I'm not so sure if that helps them to regulate.
Yeah. I have found a lot of times what they were talking about with the anxious leaders, your role is to anchor the conversation with steadiness. So a phrase like, we have time to address this, allows them to really be able to say, hey, look, let's look at our options. It's probably right before us. You're able to steady the anxious because a lot of times they're always worrying about what will people think? Well, they not realize that, okay, you just got to study and help them understand it. But with the avoidant leader, it says, regulation involves minimizing perceived intrusion and emotion and emphasizing structure. So, in some sense, the phrase like, I've analyzed the options and have a recommendation. It's something simple like, hey, we've done this before. Can I share with you the options that we have? You're regulating, you're calming the situation down.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense to me because I think it actually helps me help them calm down. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm still thinking about the different scenarios I have had with people who display insecurity.
Yeah, I do find like the anxious insecure. The picture I have on my mind of the anxious insecure leader is they're always worried about everything. Then they want
Mhm.
everyone to give in constant reports. I need you to get reports on that. I need everyone to send reports every single hour. All right, do we need a meeting? Do we need to get together? Calm it down. Look, we it's okay. Let's just calm it
Mhm.
down. Let's get the rest of the team to work out our plans and submit it, but give them a couple of days. Versus the other one just blows up. All right, guys, let's just go. We need to do this. We know, no, let's just calm it down. And we've done it before. So in both of those guys, they just have to stay calm. But how you talk with them is very key.
Right. I think I can relate to those, and I feel like I relate to them better because it's just helping me to understand that I need to over communicate with them, letting them
Hmm.
know what's going on, they're still in control. But the type that I find difficult with is the leader who is insecure, uh, in the sense that the person needs to know to come across as I'm the most important guy, I'm the most influential guy. Please give me attention. That kind of leader was hmm, difficult.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. That would drive me crazy. What about the other one? Relate with both anxious, relate. This is a key one, and which I personally do not like this one, but at the same time, it is very key. Relate.
I guess that's the difference between you and me. I found relate easy to
Oh,
understand because
oh, oh.
I'll try to get around to understanding them, helping them make that connection with me, and then being a bit more, I suppose, um, uh, self-revealing, this self-disclosing.
Yeah. I find a lot of times that what it says in terms of relate, that means a lot of times when you relate with them, check-ins all the time, give them constant updates.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there seriously, I got to do this. I'm doing my work, and now I just got to sit there and give you information. But it actually calms them down when you're constantly giving them check-ins all the time.
Agree. And this is where I kind of remind myself, I'm reminded of my son who hates doing this kind of thing. And
Mm.
perhaps, she thinks that it's a bother. But yeah, I guess my personality is such that I find it very easy to do such things.
See, it's the easy part, but it's the lack of patience that I have with that. I just don't have the
Aha.
patience for this. I'm sitting there, I gotta sit there and do the work and communicate with you what's going on because you think you're in charge. I have no patience for this.
Yeah, I think that is the key. That maybe I'm a more patient person. Yeah, I can take things easy. But my son, like you, going like, "Ah, I got work to
Mhm.
do. Don't bother me."
Yeah. Now, what about avoidant leaders? One of the things it says, and when dealing with avoidant leaders, relating means instead of how do you feel about this? Try it. What's your take on this?
Yeah, so
Hey,
that's where I
sharp.
find it easy because I like questioning people, asking questions, being curious about the person, and so that helps me.
Yeah. And so in some sense, when you say to them, what's your take on this? You're actually, I hate to say this, you're making them feel important by
Yeah,
saying, hey, look, I value your opinion. What would you do on these things? You're learning how to manage these guys, whether it's those who are above you, but also below you as well, too.
yeah, or maybe they could even be peers because there's I find this happening most often in peers because they tend to try to do their own thing and then they kind of sneak up on you, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, the last one is reason. Talk to me about that.
Well, I guess for most of us, I suppose you and I both included, reason is the easiest one to do because we're quite logical people and we tend to like to present logical approaches.
Hmm. And I find a lot of times with both avoidance and also anxious leaders, this part is the easiest for me. You want to
Mhm.
speak in a way where you show the respect. Let's say, for instance, and here's an example: if you were a anxious, insecure leader, I'm not going to sit there in the meeting and says, "Gordon, I need you to do this. I need you to do this." It is so, Gordon. How would you? Here's the situation that we have. What would you be able to do in this situation? And so a lot of times I'm giving you the power, but also the respect for you to really be able to give us the options. We're looking at option A, but we're also looking at option B. Option A is here. Option B is here. We've analyzed all of those things. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, yeah. So I totally agree with you. I think this is the easy part. What I would do is usually just present facts. We'll know now point one, two, three, four, five are the facts that we have. Given the one, two, three, four, five means that these are options as you suggested. And I think that helps me a lot.
Yeah. They do say with the avoidant leaders, here's the one that I'm wrestling on: present information in a way that maximizes their autonomy. I wonder what that means.
I don't know. I guess so. This is where I talk about avoidant leaders being difficult to read because you can present them the facts, the reasons, and they may just go very quiet. And I don't know if that gives them a sense of autonomy that I can do whatever I want, whatever you
Yeah.
say. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Gordon, I mean, I wrestle with this article, right? Because I don't have the patience for insecure leaders. I don't like dealing with insecure leaders. I know myself. Eventually, I start rebelling after a while because I'm saying, why am I dealing with this stuff? And so a lot of times I'm wrestling at how do I deal with those guys? Let me show them the respect. But after a while, my patience does wear thin.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that because I think insecurity comes out as something that you the idea requires some mollycoddling, like stroking and soothing. But yeah, if you got the job to be done, you got a job to be done.
But I gotta admit, Gordon, one of the most secure leaders that I've ever met. I worked with him back in the day when I built cell towers. This guy would tell you exactly what was wrong, but when he was wrong or he didn't know what to do, he solicited opinions. He asked you what you thought, and if it went directly and he saw the logic on it, he was always good at go ahead, go do it.
That
Loved it.
those are the
Loved it.
Yeah, great leaders, right? They knew what they want to do and they
Yeah.
didn't feel threatened.
Yeah. Tuesdays with Gordon. Hey, you know the one thing, as I am talking with you, you do look a lot darker here, Gordon.
Yes, I think a little bit more red. I think like sunburn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, one last question dealing with back to our food conversation in Japan. What is, besides the usual sushi, everything like that, is there a unique dish that you had that those who are in America sitting here listening or Singapore would have never tried before except in that region?
uh, it's interesting because I like sticks. What they
Mm,
call it, yakitori.
mm,
Little sticks where the meat is stuck on them, a little
mhm.
like a kebab. I like those because it's skewered and it's kind of grilled over a charcoal grill. I love those, and I hate to
Ah,
admit this, but they go very well with like beer or something like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Versus Gordon, I am a true octopus and octopus, tuna, salmon. I just love that stuff so much. And eel, eel. I love eel.
Oh yes, eel is great. Eel is great. I love eel.
Yeah. Well, Tuesdays with Gordon, how to manage an insecure leader. Hey, look, I mean, I'll be gone next week, but then we'll have one
Okay.
more week before you're gone. So looking forward to our conversation here, Gordon.
Yeah. Well, we'll speak in a couple of weeks then.
All right, talk soon.
See you.